What is going on there, citizens of the Reject Nation? Greg here, joined by Michael the Tesla, a Star Wars professor. I'm going to start calling you that instead. Listen, so we already covered the Ahsoka trailer. Leave a like, by the way. Please go ahead. Use the Force to leave a like. You know how we do. We already covered the Ahsoka trailer. You guys go ahead and watch that. Now, they did announce some stuff under Star Wars. When I called Michael this morning, like, what you got, Michael? I only said Ahsoka trailer was out, and I asked him, like, don't read anything of what's announced. I mean, I heard about the Ahsoka trailer, and I heard of one movie, but I heard there's 3, actually. So I don't know any specifics. I literally just saw a title of something, and I was like, oh, wow, that's all I got.
I'm like nervous.
Yeah. So here we go, Michael. So I have this IGN article pulled up here.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm announces 3 live-action Star Wars movies are in development with directors Dave Filoni,
whoa.
James Mangold, and Charmin Obey-Chinoy. James Mangold directing a Star Wars movie. Remember he was in talks? They were talking about him doing like Boba Fett.
Oh, God, I would have paid a lot of money for that version
That would
of
have been
Boba Fett.
great. Dave Filoni's film will focus on the New Republic and is a big deal as Filoni has been an integral part of Star Wars for many years. Okay.
So proud and happy for him.
I did hear that his movie is going to take place. That's one of the things I saw would take place after episode 6, before episode 7.
Amazing.
So as we have all been thinking,
Building up to that big cinematic event.
yeah, to tie it in.
Yeah.
He's
Phenomenal.
filling in that gap with like Mandalorian and Ahsoka, right?
What a task.
Did you read this, Michael?
What? Oh, my God.
Daisy Ridley returning as Star Wars in a movie set after the rise of Skywalker. As mentioned in the blurb above, Daisy Ridley will officially be returning to Star Wars as Rey in a new movie set 15 years, I didn't know that, after the events of Rise of Skywalker.
Wow.
In this new movie, that's the one directed by Charmin, Rey will attempt to rebuild the Jedi Order as a Jedi Master so we can get more Jedi movies.
It's almost like what we wanted the first time around.
Yeah.
While I am skeptical of anything in the sequel era, I personally feel like Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Poe Dameron, he's so beautiful. The talent that they found were so good. I'm really excited for all of them to have the opportunity to like really, really do what they do best. I'm impressed and surprised in equal measure. I think the gut instinct for Disney was to like never talk or think about the sequels again. And I appreciate that with a bit of time, a bit of refinement, that we can give maybe some of this amazing cast the opportunity to really shine.
Do you think John Boyega will return? I hope he does.
Oh, me too. I think that of all of them, John Boyega got the absolute crap end of the stick.
He was set up, and they just totally put him.
Like, if they don't open with him as a Jedi Knight, I'll be real angry. I also want to know what happened with the kid with the broom.
Yeah.
Is he still sweeping somewhere?
Using his limited force capabilities just to sweep. But no, especially for Daisy Ridley, where it's like Rise of Skywalker especially was so panned, but I feel like she really poured her heart and soul into those movies. And regardless of what you think about those films, I think Daisy Ridley did excellent work. Yeah. It's the kind of thing, kind of like what we see with the guy who plays Jar Jar Binks, Ahmed Best.
I love that you're comparing Rey to Jar Jar Binks
No, I'm saying
I know what you're saying.
The idea of like, oh man, this person has such like a negative relationship with Star Wars. And now they get a chance to redeem themselves and do something special and different.
I'm excited to see where they go with it. I'm super curious because, you know, with Palpatine gone again for a couple times now, who is the big bad? Like, I'm curious, are they going to go down the same old rabbit hole, or are we going to introduce something new?
Well, that's what I find cool about it, is because it's saying that it's focused on her being a Jedi Master, building a new order. They would be doing like a continuation. It's not a fill in the gap segment of Star Wars. They'd be doing something that takes place after the main Skywalker saga, but it wouldn't be episode 10. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool direction to do it, because this would be the first time we have something that takes place after Skywalker Saga that is not an episode something. It would be its own thing. I'm presuming. It might be episode 10. Yeah.
Well, and it's an unexplored... Well, she is a Skywalker.
That is true. She is a Rey Skywalker.
It's an unexplored time period. The thing that I'm genuinely most excited about in Star Wars right now is that for the first time in forever, we have like an ominous villain that exists out of the realm of anything that we've ever dealt with or anything that we've ever seen, in the form of, you know, the potentially the Grisk in Ahsoka. Getting out of just the Jedi and the Sith is really exciting. So is it going to be called the New Republic?
Yeah, the newer Republic.
The newest Republic?
Okay, yeah, so they do confirm that Filoni's movie will take place after the events of The Return of the Jedi, before Force Awakens. It will close out the interconnected stories told in The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and other New Republic-focused Disney Plus series. It looks like they want to conclude the shows that are doing some of the best for Star Wars right now.
Well, for now.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll find a way to give every secondary character their own spinoff from that.
But I think it's just great that Dave Filoni is finally getting a chance to make a movie. You know?
I mean, we've talked about it forever of giving him that mantle and the creative liberty. I mean, based on what we saw from the Ahsoka trailer, it's hard not to imagine it's going to be a crazy Star Wars movie.
I mean, just that one episode he did of season 2 was phenomenal.
God.
One of my favorites of the whole series.
He just has such a great attention to George's original vision. He's such a cinephile and from so many different cultures and perspectives, and he really just like pulls the best of everything, which I feel like Star Wars at its heart is just this like collection of great other movies, all kind of put together with this like amazing lore glue that nobody knows better than Dave Filoni.
Well, you see, that's the funny thing with that episode 6 that came out of The Mandalorian. There were a lot of people who were like, it's like a Clone Wars episode. It's like a Clone Wars episode. And to me, when I think of Clone Wars, I'm like, sure, there's some goofy, silly, fun episodes. Absolutely. But there's also some of the most intense, most serious, some of the best Star Wars has ever been.
Yeah.
From Clone Wars that my mind immediately goes to, like, that was some of the most gripped I've ever been, and it wasn't a goofy thing at all.
Yeah.
And then with James Mangold's movie, what they have here is that it's going to take place at an early point in the Star Wars timeline. We came up with an incredible story to tell about the dawning of the Force.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, I know they put a lot of time and energy into like, the High Republic period. I think Star Wars fans forever, since the Knights of the Old Republic video game series came out forever and ever ago, to see the origins and to see the beginning. And there's so much like, how did everything take shape? Like, how did the first like Sith break from the Jedi and the Jedi Civil War? I mean, I'm really curious as to what time period exactly they're going to cover, because some of it is canon, other parts are not yet defined. It's just exciting I want to see Coruscant's rock when it was just a rock. What if that's the whole movie?
It's just like an ethereal.
Well, he's like on a mission, or she is on a mission to like find the Force. They climb this mountain, and at the very end we cut to, and it's just Pershing licking the lollipop. And you're like, whoa, it's the same mountain.
Well, in Clone Wars, we had the Mortis arc, and that really seemed to delve deep into like the depths of the Force and the origins. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every time I think I've wrapped my head around what they think the Force is, they continue to dig a little deeper. It would be really neat to go back to some locations that we've seen, some of the ancient sites, like where we picked up with Luke. In Force Awakens, Skelos, which is the actual name of the island. That would be so cool to see that like as like an actual Jedi temple, or to like see the building of the original Jedi temple in Coruscant. Like stuff like that does it for my nerdy self.
Well, shit, man. There's a lot here.
There's a lot.
Which one are you most excited for?
My gut says Dave Filoni, in my opinion, is the most deserving, wonderful soul. People in the film world kind of look down on television. I feel like people in the television world look down on animation. Dave Filoni, if you think about his like rise and ascension and his ability to honor George's original vision while also like embracing the fans and hearing them and evolving and growing as a storyteller, I just feel like he's going to tell a story that is the culmination of his entire Star Wars career thus far. I mean, all of these dots are threaded together. I think that's a pretty extraordinary thing, and regardless of if it's my favorite Star Wars movie, I think it's the one I'm most excited for, because it's nice to see somebody who genuinely loves this and lives it in the same way I think a lot of Star Wars fans do, finally have that chance to really play with the big boys. I mean, directing a Star Wars film is no joke. Yeah, the other ones sound really fun, though. I'm really jazzed.
Alrighty, guys. Well, which one of these announcements are you most excited for? Leave your thoughts down below. Be sure to subscribe, leave a like, keep a lookout for our Mandalorian reactions next week.
With the Force.
I'll see you guys soon.